HHDG. Peace, HHDG. We are on another episode of HHDG Media Podcast. Big shout out to everyone tuning in right now through our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook group, HHDG, Hip Hop Discussion Group. As always, you can go and check out our website, as you can see on the bottom banner, hhdgmedia.com, for the latest music, interviews, our merch, and also upcoming events. As always, you may see me, but there's 5 of us total that make up HHDG Media Inc. And that consists of Rock Vader KB, T. Smith, The Mayor, Skelly Top, and as I mentioned, myself, Wiki. For tonight, we got 2 talented brothers with so much history in music that when I listen to their show, and I probably told them this before, they bring me back to the radio shows that I came up listening to. Like Special K and Teddy Ted was awesome too. Hank Love and Half Pint. Freaking Pete Rock and Molly Mall when they was on Hot 97. Halftime show with DJ Eclipse. Mayhem and Sunset. I keep going on, Stretch and Bob. What I love is, of all those shows I mentioned, each one had their own characters, their own, personalities. And these 2 bring that same type of their own personality that I feel that gravitates with so many and brings more and more listeners in. It's not just the dope music. It's also the people that make up the show. They have done so much music themselves. So I hope that more and more people that do listen to their radio show actually been paying attention that they've done some music. Solo and together as, Prophetics and Dochino. Who else am I talking about? It's the God, y'all. DJ Jon Doe. And Eddie Meeks.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Hey. What up? What up?
What's up, my dog?
How you doing, man?
What's going on?
You over there tugging at heartstrings and shit. Man. What's up, HHDG?
How y'all doing?
We good, bro. Happy to be here, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
Appreciate it. And it's been almost 8 years now? Was it 8 years that y'all been doing the radio show?
Yeah. We are slowly approaching 9.
There you go.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna play something real quick because this was my introduction to Jon Doe.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Oh, this ought to be good.
Uh-oh. I think I know what this might be.
What they spit, contestants on the mic sounds nice when they get. But we have a beat for a one-time wonder hit, and how to play it off if you make a live blunder hit.
Yeah, man.
Or well-refined rhyme flow. Now, if you don't mind, Joe, find me where the limes grow with a fine dime.
Dime. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna leave it right there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's how I met you.
Man.
Excuse me. That's how I ran into you and the homie CJ, Grandfather Clyde.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so the story behind that is that someone did a fan video and they started getting a little burn and they had the credits all jacked up. And for those that don't know, that was a joint that I did with Doom on my producer project, Meet Jon Doe. So of course I couldn't help myself, and I got in the comments and let my little feelings be known. And Ian and CJ and I just ended up excuse me, just chatting and chopping it up, and I guess we just kind of became cool, over the internet. And I actually met CJ
Nice.
a number of years ago when I was out in Houston for work. So yeah, man, it's for all the irritation I had about that, about that not being credited properly, it did introduce me to you, Ian, and CJ as well. So I'm thankful for that.
And as y'all say on the show, get your metadata right.
Yeah, that's right. Get your metadata right, B.
Fix your metadata right, B. Shouts out to PL Cutting on that.
Oh man, yeah, and great times, man. And to this day, even though I'm make an effort to go on Sunday nights and listen to y'all, I still go on the SoundCloud and go get a spin on there later on and still download it.
Yeah.
Put that on my phone.
Oh, you still download it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dope.
Yeah, I was listening today. I listen to every episode for quality control purposes, man. I got to make sure we on point, yeah.
There you go. Dope.
Yeah.
Now, the main reason that we have these two talented individuals here is because they just dropped a book. Smithsonian.
Okay.
They got this too. My man.
Man. Yeah. Yo, Ian, that's a dope reel you did today, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. The opening of your Amazon package, that shit was ill. I like that.
Shit was ill.
Yeah.
I was, I've been thinking. I was like, let me try and start doing something a little different with when I record this. Let me start doing some unboxing videos.
Yeah.
And then play some music directly related to it.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That was a great look. Thank you.
Summer school joint though.
Yeah. That was a great look. Thank you.
No doubt.
So before we get into this, I know some people do know your history and some don't, but let's let them know a little bit about what went down in Western Kentucky.
Oh man. Okay. Well, homie, tell them about your show at Western.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in Kentucky called Glasgow, and I went to college at Western Kentucky University, which is in Bowling Green, 30 miles basically from where I grew up. Thank the lucky stars. Literally the first day I hit the dorm, they put me in a football dorm, and I have no idea why, because I'm the most non-sports. You ask anybody that really knows me, man. Like, honestly, the only reason I care and keep up with sports at this point is because my son is just huge into sports, and I really have no choice. So anyway, I'm in the football dorm, and this dude sees me carrying in my turntables and a bunch of crates, and he excuse me, he stops me. So I'm thinking like, oh man, this guy's gonna like tell me that I can't have these in my room or whatever. And he's like, what is this? What do you do? He's like, I was just like, I DJ and this and this and this and that. And he's like, what kind of music? And I was like, mostly hip hop, and I do some soul and funk and stuff like that. He's like, perfect. We're having a party down here tomorrow, and it's for the football players, and you can DJ it. Cool? And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And turns out this guy actually ended up being my RA, my floor resident advisor. Big up Kelly Menace. He also happened to be, at the time, the program director for the radio station at Western Kentucky University. And after he saw me do my thing a couple nights later, he said, man, we got a Sunday slot from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Do you want it? He's like, usually you have to be a sophomore or a junior to get a show, but he's like, you're dope, and nobody really wants a slot, and we need more, for lack of a better term, like diverse shows on the station. And that kind of started my college radio journey, which ended up leading me to being introduced to Egon and Count Basie in Nashville, not, an hour south of Bowling Green, which ended up leading to me meeting Meeks at Egon and Count show one Friday night. Right, Meeks? Is that about right?
Yep. During a run for my very first solo release, Larger Than Life, Eddie Meeks and Tarico. We're talking about 95, 96, something like that. And definitely making a run through Nashville and WRVU on my way to Memphis to chop it up with the local newspaper there, the Commercial Appeal, for an article that they ran about the release. And we was kicking it at the show at RVU Friday night. I'm leaving the show, headed to Memphis. On the way out, John tells me, "Hey man, I don't know what you got going on, but my show is Sunday up at Western." I was like, "How far away is it from here?" He's like, "About an hour and a half, something like that." I was like, "You know what? I need to do as much as I can." So I was like, "I'll be there, man. I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off, but I'll be there." So I went on to Memphis, took care of my business in Memphis, and hopped back in the car that Sunday and drove up to Western Kentucky. I ain't know where. This is before GPS and all that good stuff, MapQuest and all that. I might have had like an actual map in the car with me, just trying to route stuff out. But I made it up there. And to this day, you're looking at the one and only live in studio guest that John had at his radio show. He did that show for 4 years. I was the only guy that was in there with him. And it's crazy to hear you say the time slot, homie, because that's basically us right now.
Oh, dude,
it's crazy.
I think about that. I think about that all the time.
That is crazy. Sunday night, 10 to 2. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, man. Meant to be.
Yeah, man.
Now, those years doing the college radio, did you get to pick most of the music? Because I did some intern when I was in college at the radios, and they used to give me stacks of CDs to go through. They let me know, should you play this? Should you play that? What type of sound does it have? Is it too much profanity? I had to go literally listen to all types of genres and then give them the feedback on what I heard.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky in that it was a specialty show. So we had like regular rotation right throughout the day, but in the evenings, there were specialty shows of all kinds, bluegrass, alternative rock, soundtracks, people, how college radio is, and it's it can be wild. So yeah, I got to pick what I wanted to play. A couple years later, I did end up being program director and station manager for one semester each when I was there. And at that point, I actually had a little bit of sway in regard to what was put into rotation, but it was really hard at the time because we didn't have radio edits, so like I couldn't slide a lot of hip hop in. But for the most part, I had kind of free reign over what I wanted to play. The only trick is that it did have to be clean, so like I didn't have Free Harbor, like a lot of like the big underground hip hop radio shows did at the time. Stretch and Bob and a lot of those late night hip hop shows, they can play whatever they want after 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or something like that. Yeah, I didn't have that luxury, so it was fairly finite in regard to what I could play. I had to have radio edits, so
right.
It was a blast, man. That was, and actually, like thinking back on that was really the catalyst for how Southern Vangard Radio started in the first place. Is Meeks and I both, throughout the years have had, both feet in, one foot in, both feet out, of music. And we were both in a spot where we were like, man, like we still want to do something. It just needs to be different and new.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like sitting there thinking back to like, man, when was the time I had the most fun, like with this, world, if you will, or this culture, or whatever. And I was just like, it was a radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting heavy into podcasting at the time. Rest in peace, Combat Jack. I was into the early Juan Ep stuff.
Word.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, nobody's really doing mix shows. So that was kind of the lane that we picked.
Yep. And from an artist aspect, it intrigued me because that was very important to the artist back at that time. Just being able to go to college radio or community radio stations like WRFG in Atlanta, WRAS, WREK, especially when you're talking about, you dumping some money into yourself and putting out cassettes and CDs and vinyl and stuff like that, but not really having an outlet to have your stuff played. College radio was everything, man. So,
yeah,
you could follow up in a college radio. I don't care how dope it was, how podunk it was or whatever, and feel like a star. Cause I know in a matter of minutes, they get ready to put my record on, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it might be 100 people listening, it might be 10 people listening, it don't matter. It's like I can't go to commercial radio and get that kind of action. So yeah, college radio was everything. And when the homie brought it up, I was in. I was like, that's what we doing, that's what we doing. So, and here it is almost 9 years later. And wow, what a ride, what a journey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And the two, you gain so much experience because you on many different aspects of not just putting out your music, but as far as the industry, Meeks, you was out there doing promos.
Yeah.
And Jon Doe's out there, DJing different venues.
Yeah, absolutely. Just different, like so many different lanes. The street promotions thing was a pretty good time in my life because it was, man, the money these labels, even these underground labels like Good Vibe and labels like that. I even did some work for Twism one time, which was Shaq's label. Yeah. The money you could make just by littering cars and telephone poles and stuff, and send some pictures back out to Cali, and they cut you a check for $1,500 for like 30 minutes worth of work. I'm just like, yo, I could do this in my sleep. There was some caveats involved in it though. I almost went into the story the other night on episode 374 about the time I was working for Good Vibe, and the Declaim project had just come out on Good Vibe Recordings, and I was doing the street promotions here in Atlanta, and I'm over there off Crescent Avenue. It's a lot back then. There was a lot of clubs. Now it's the Rodeo Drive of the South is what they call it.
It's terrible, is what it is. But anyway,
yeah, it's garbage. But back then there used to be a lot of nightclubs like Kaya and different spots back there on Crescent Street. So I'm out there doing my thing. I'm staple gun done out there. You know what I'm saying? I got all the light poles lit up. I got all the cars flyed up. And the next thing you know, here come like 6 or 7 all white, what were they? Ford F-150s in a line. And
all bad.
All bad, son. And next thing you know, it's police surrounding me. I'm like, y'all here for me? What I do? It's like, hey man, can't be out here doing this to these cars and to these telephone poles. I'm like, man, I had no idea. I'm not from here. It's like, what do you mean you're not from here? Now, this is the genius thing about me and being sentimental and loyal to your hometown and your city. I have lived in Metro Atlanta since 1989, since I graduated from high school. I still have Tennessee tags and Tennessee driver's license. So just being quick on my feet, I'm like, oh, bro, I'm not from here. We don't have graffiti laws. The reason why they rolled up on me is because apparently the graffiti laws went against street promotions because the telephone poles were considered private property owned by Georgia Power or whatever. So basically, I'm trespassing by putting a poster up on the telephone pole or whatever.
Wow.
It's crazy. So I'm like, well, man, I had no idea. I'm not from here. What do you mean you're not from here? Why would you be here? I was like, look, man, I get hired to do this for various labels. Here's my license. We don't have this graffiti law that you're talking about. They told me to come to Atlanta. This is one of their big markets, and that's what it is. The cop went over there and confab with his other cohorts, and they came back. They were like, look here, man, we're gonna cut you a break. If you get all this stuff down and off these cars in 30 minutes, you're free to go. I like, say less. I had already got my pictures. I got my pictures. I'm good. I went and scooped all that stuff up, put it back in my trunk. So, wow, there it is. Yeah, so street promotions was good until, it wasn't good anymore. Like, I remember being the only person in Atlanta with the Slum Village, Fantastic Volume 2, vinyl and whatever else promotional items I had, and that was a big time for my life too. So yeah, we seen a lot of action in different ways out here messing around with this music, man. It's been good to us for the most part.
That's great.
Yep.
Oh, y'all still with me?
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, sorry. That's right there. Yeah, that's amazing journey, with
Hell of a journey.
going on. Like that. I think you mentioned when you said your first EP was out through, was it Sirius Entertainment that you labeled?
Yes.
With Socrates?
Socrates, yep. DJ Adam 12. At that time, I think that was the bulk of the label. There was some ties to Buckshot from that Duck Down as well.
Wow.
But yeah, it was at that time I think it was primarily DJ Adam 12, Socrates, and me, Eddie Meeks, and Thadico. Yeah.
Yo, so Ian, this is an ill story. And talk about like 6 degrees of separation, like how odd the world is. So Meeks got signed to Sirius Entertainment, which is run by Mike Karen, like the Mike Karen, like big shot Mike Karen now, right?
Yep.
Like Gnarls
Atlantic,
Barkley,
all of that.
Atlantic, all that shit. Gnarls Barkley, all that shit, right? So Mike Karen is also who signed Nappy Roots, who I went to school with, and I was in class with two of the members of Nappy Roots, and actually two of the kind of, if you will, kind of heads of the group. And I end up meeting, so they end up getting signed by Mike Karen, and I end up meeting Meeks. So we got this weird like Mike Karen like connection loosely through Meeks being signed to Sirius Entertainment back in the day, and then Mike Karen at Atlantic ended up signing Nappy Roots. It was crazy, and I actually did cuts on the Nappy Roots demo tape that got them signed to Atlantic.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So, dude, this is all meant to be, whether we wanted it to be or not. This is what it is.
No doubt.
So that makes it even more interesting why y'all got a book.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a story there and had to be told, but hopefully the story doesn't stop there. You know what I'm saying? But everything is just kind of surreal right now. Like it's been a crazy week so far. Just announcing the book the other night, and the way the orders have been coming through, and
that's great.
yeah, everybody reaching out to us, and you know, is this for real? Like, yeah, man, it's real deal. You know, like,
Yeah, we talk so much shit all the time, Ian. Like,
yeah,
I don't think people know when to take us seriously or not. You know?
yeah, we're authors now, and you can go get our shit off
Yeah, there
Amazon,
you go.
and
Yeah.
in a matter of hours, it'll show up at your house. Like, don't play with us, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep the story going, man. We got a lot more to do, and it ain't over. You know, it's not over. We really just getting started.
Just a continuation. It's a new chapter.
Just
like the radio show was another chapter.
Yeah, just a continuation, bro.
Now, I know a lot of people are still asking y'all for interviews to bring that back.
Yeah, let's go ahead and clear the air on that now. If you want your interview done, you need to chop it up with this brother up here.
That's right.
HHD Media, he got you covered. We'll promote it for you, because when we were doing the interviews, it was just, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And don't get it twisted, like we did some very memorable interviews.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, I think the interview that made us, what I don't think I know, the interview that made us was the Sean Price interview, rest in peace. Touted as his last interview before his untimely passing, depending on who you ask and who you talk to about that. But that one put us on, and he'll forever be our OG for that, because I always go back to this. He ain't had to do that, man. And the way we even got that interview was on some comedy shit, because if you listen to the show, you know, me and John will butcher a name in a minute. And I guess it's one time we not only butchered the name on the show, but in the metadata as well for the show. And P got a hold of that and ran with it. And like, he was giving us hell on Twitter about it. And I was like, well, P, if you do an interview with us, man, I promise not to mess your name up. And he was like, sure, let's do it. And, you know, one thing led to another. I got his phone number. Sunday night came around, called the number. John's over there. He ain't gonna pick up. This motherfucker gonna pick up, man. You ain't talking to Sean Price. Sure enough, his wife picked up the phone. I was like, yeah, man, I speak to Sean Price. She said, hold on for a second. Shouts out to Bernadette, too, who is doing a beautiful job at keeping his legacy alive.
Absolutely.
And his baby girl, Sean P, you know, they represent for P real hard, man. I love to see it. But yeah, she said, hold on for a second. The next thing you know, we got the man on the phone, man. It's just like that made us. And now it's sitting at almost 25,000 plays or something like that. It's insane. So yeah, like I said, the journey is incredible, man. But it just got to the point where, and this is something as an artist, I don't understand. Like, I wish I had the platforms that are available to these artists right now, back when I was, you know, really both feet in on the music. It was hard to get press. It was hard to get radio play. It was hard to get interviews, especially if you like a virtual nobody. So you got to think about it. You know, we provide a hell of a platform. We've done so for so many years. And it was kind of disheartening for us to realize that, hey, you know, we showing up, you know, an hour early before the podcast. So you talking about 9 p.m. basically to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning for a long time. And then to find out that, you know, these dudes was just enamored with the thought of just having somebody interview them. And we cover all the bases. We do the artwork. We provide you with the audio. You know, we promote it several different ways throughout the week. And the artist wasn't doing even half of that. So it's just like, we kind of spinning our wheels a little bit. Like, what are we doing? You know, prime example, going back to Sean P. ducked down, ran with that thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, P didn't have to put his hands on it. He had, you know, people behind him doing it. And the only other interview that's close to P is shouts out to the God Fahim. He's our second highest played interview session. And that's all Fahim. You know what I mean? His following, his listeners, whatever. But they got him in the number 2 spot in our interview session. So, you know, a message to the artists out there, man. Like it's opportunities out here still that you can, you know, utilize to make a name for yourself and put your name on the map, you know, put a face with the name, so to speak. Like, take advantage of them. Like, don't just leave it up to the platform to do all the work. You got to put in some work too.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
I knew that there was a problem there when you would see artists that, funny enough, were in our age bracket, were doing what you should do when you know, have an opportunity like that.
Right.
So, like, I'll never forget when we interviewed Shabam Sadiq. Big up Shabam.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he promoted the hell out of that interview.
Oh yeah.
And not just when it came out. He'd circle back around like every 3 months and be like, and he'd go on another like week or two little campaign and be like, dog, I mean, these motherfuckers wouldn't. We put it out on a silver platter for them, man. We'd be like, here's the description, here's the artwork, blah, 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 blah. Man, we couldn't. I'd say probably 70 to 80% of the interviews that we did, we couldn't even get like a repost or a retweet or the artist promoting. I was like, man, why are we busting our ass doing all this work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And
to your point, homie, it is a certain age bracket there, because Shabam, you know, he got that Rockets background and whatever else. But then you go forward to, and not to say that he didn't do it, but like, say for instance, somebody like a Nolan the Ninja, like the generational gap is there. But I don't know, it's just something missing in their younger demographic. But Nolan did his thing as well. Nolan's a whole entity right now. So big ups to Nolan. Definitely a student of the game. You know, we learned that first and foremost from him when we did our interview with him. He's a student of the game, man. He wants to do it the right way, and you can never front on that.
Speaking of him, that's an artist that I was actually speaking with directly through emails, like early in his career. I got a few of his early CDs, like just from talking in emails, and then, you know, sending them over to me and everything. Definitely, you know, he's definitely continuously pushing his own craft.
Yeah, he built different, man. And we respect the hell out of that. Cats like him, cats like Afro, God Fahim, just any of the younger cats that's just not relying on, you know, dumping music every week and a half, and thinking that's going to, you know, take them to the promised land. Like, it's some young cats out here doing it the right way, and they putting the work behind it as well. So we salute them all day long, bro.
And there's a lot of structure that comes with that marketing.
Absolutely.
Doing it.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing I want to address is a lot of people need to give y'all a lot of credit for who y'all interview, because there's a lot of artists out there that you were one of the select few that interviewed them, and you won't find any interviews anywhere else.
Oh no,
nah. Aldovino's one of them. Very few times you've seen him in an interview.
Aldovino's one of them. Fahim is one of them. Who else you could think of, homie? Anybody else?
Oh, again, I hate to talk so much shit, but it's just it literally is factual.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of people that we were interviewed early on. I mean, it's, you know, And that's why I'm kind of on that, like, it's all about the ear. You know what I mean? It's about this ear and it's about Meeks ear. Like you can't collectively there's not a mix like this in the world, right? Like as far as me and Meeks go, and I'm not saying that to be cocky, but I'm just saying that, like, the perspectives that we have, just on hip hop, growing up where we grew up on, at the influences that we had,
right,
and just how we ingest and interpret this for ourselves, man. Like, I mean, we were early. I mean, like I really truly think like we still to this day break artists. Period.
very true.
We are still every day. I'm digging, man. Whether it's new shit or whether it's old shit, like all those records in the back and in the closet over there, we're digging every single day.
Yo, and I got to give it up to the homie, because the homie go through thousands of hours of not only metadata but just records in general. I had to give it to the homie. Every now and then I stumble up on something that will make it into the mix, but I'm not going through the records like Jon is. Jon is like really doing his thing, and lately, Saturday night is the night where he'll pop on Twitch or whatever and go through some records. But for me, coming across, some new music, like I think my greatest discovery was probably Rashid Chappelle. Shouts out to Rashid. I just remember when I was following Easy Mo B on Instagram, and that first single Rashid had with Kenny Dope came out, and it just killed me, bro. I just couldn't stop listening to it, and I put the homie up on it, and he was like, "Oh, we playing this," and then from there, we got a nice little relationship with Rashid now. He one of the homies now. He done came down and did A3C with us, and we done chopped it up with him on the podcast a couple of times. So salute to people like that, man. Right. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think what's telling, Ian, is that, like, if you sit back and look at, who we've interviewed and who we showcase on the show from 2015 until now, like, there are a lot of folks whose careers were starting back then. And those guys are still more or less like kind of the de facto standard for, like, this kind of group of folks, right? That were like, it's kind of like this second wave. I hate to just like always tie it to like, West Side and Griselda, and I mean, really, Rock Marcy was kind of the genesis in the beginning of a lot of that. But this last kind of indie wave, if you will, I feel like we were, not only early on, playing their music, but we were early on, on having them on the platform. A lot of folks' first interview was on Southern Vangard Radio.
Very true.
Tell them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm that's something that I'm proud of, and that's why still I still talk so much shit when I'm dropping these new folks on you, like just like this week, like who's somebody that we played this week, Meeks, that I love. These guys were out of Miami.
Yeah. TV something.
Money Mowgli and 1095. Like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we were real early on Luca. Like speaking about like new guys,
man,
like,
right?
We were actually, Ian. You put me up on Luca. Actually, you put me up on Luca.
Really?
Yeah. You put me up on Luca, man. Yeah. Truth
I'm still trying to get him on the show.
Yeah. Well, that Meeks is your link right there.
That's
South.
Let me work.
Right there.
Let me work. Yeah, let me work on that, because Jon was asking me about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I know, dude. Like, I know his mom. His mom is a soul singer, R&B singer, just a singer in general in the city, well known. And I've done a gang of shows with Luca in Memphis, man. So let me work on that for you. I got you,
okay. That's dope. I appreciate
all right.
that.
Yeah, like all the Umbrella guys, Ian. Like we were mad early on all of them, all of them. So so yeah, man. But it's the chase. You know what I mean? Like it's. And I don't think people understand. Like this isn't just like some fucking like, you know, we just woke up one day and like, you know, we just fell out of bed and we could just put this together on a whim, right? Like we did do that, but there's so much experience and so much collective, like, you know, experience and wisdom and, you know, whatever, that it just comes natural. So
Yes.
you know, so I think that's the big difference, like with the show in general. Like you were kind of talking about the energy and, you know, with, you know, some of those radio shows you grew up listening to. Like I want that, you know, we want that shit to sound larger than life, you know, when you tune in, you know what I mean? Like
No doubt.
it needs to feel like there's, you know, 1,000 people in the radio station when or in the room with Meeks when we're going, you know what I mean? So
no doubt.
You know, you got, you know, the energy that you give, and it's that same way of, like I was saying, when I grow up, you know, I'm anticipating Sunday nights. You know?
Yeah.
I love that feeling, you know, that's hip hop right there.
Yep.
And then, you know, we do too.
Yeah,
we do too. That's I don't think people understand that. Like,
I'm sure that, that's what keeps you going. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
and then in the shows you were rattling off, like, man, coming from where we come from, we didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So you had a whole nother chamber of upbringing and listenership than we had. Like, I don't know about the homie, but I'm pretty sure John's, you know, coming into contact with the music was similar to mine. You know, we would get bits and pieces on the radio, and, you know, you really had to rely on, like, you know, TV shows sometimes. You know, definitely
Yo and TV raps, and, you know, like, you know, video
New
shows.
New York Hot Tracks. You know, I don't know if y'all remember that show, but it used to come on super late, like Saturday night in Memphis, and I'd be up sneaking to watch stuff like that. Like, but when you rattling off Pete Rock and Marley Marl and Stretch and Bob, and, man, I wish I had that kind of, you know, introduction to it, but it did not come that way. I just, you know, luckily, you know, just happened to, you know, stumble up on some things here and there, and, you know, I just been rocking with it ever since. So
great.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't, like I said, y'all still bring that same type of energy, and that's what I love.
Man, you dropped some names, bro. So to mention us in that list, yo, I'm honored and humbled all at the same time, bro. Like, that's just crazy to even think about, bro. So thank you.
Now, along your journey, you mentioned Count Bass D and Egon. I know Jay Sinai's the homie. Dr. Butcher's the homie. You know, throughout the years, you know, with the music and everything, who else has, you know, become family?
Oh, man. Man, shouts out to my man Mellow Melanin, man. He had a hip hop group home at his house at one point in time. Mellow lived with all 3 members of Science of Life.
Wow.
And that would just bring a host of characters through the crib. You know, we met Stud Doogie over there. Doom would come through over there. Just, you know, it'd just be various individuals at the crib. I mean, they had the studio set up. They had a couple of studios set up at Mellow's crib. So, I mean, we used to be with Star all the time. Shouts out to my sister Star. You name them, man. You know, we came, you know, we came up with them. And it also turned into sort of like an ambassadorship, because speaking of Count was the one that told me to go chop it up and link up with DJ Pocket. Shouts out to DJ Pocket when he moved here, and I've been rocking with Pocket ever since then. I can't recall the date or whatever it was, but like his first his first time stepping into Atlanta, like Count made sure he had some people to, you know, to bond with or whatever. So yeah, it's incredible, man. Like just over the years, you know, even going back to the street promotions, you know, and becoming that go-to guy. You know, people will come in town. I had access to them. You know, talking about doing Slum Village, you know, promotions for Fantastic Volume 2 to opening up for Slum Village because of that here in Atlanta. And, you know, a couple of times actually, showing them around town, making sure they got where they need to be. It became that sort of a thing, you know. So, yeah, man. Just a lot of people. Jay Cyanide, John Robinson, ID 4 Wins, Superstition before he moved to Atlanta. We would be up in Charlotte fucking around a lot, like, and that just opened up, you know, doors to a whole other, you know, Gene Brown. Shouts out to Gene Brown. We know Gene Brown because of that, you know. Yeah, just a lot of people, man. Just a lot of people.
Yeah, what's interesting, Ian, is like who we've met through the show, like as like whether they were an artist and they became a fan of the show because they just liked the vibe of the interview and they liked being able to get new music. So like Grap Lova, who did the forward for the book, you know, I never thought in a trillion years I would ever be able to text Grap Lova 3 days ago and say, you know, hey Grap, I need your address so I can send you a book that you did the forward for.
Right.
Books about us. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
And I mean, in a little, my man Coops here, who did the illustration actually for the book.
Yep.
You know, Coops from you know, Virginia, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to be in the DMV a lot for work, so I'd see Coop every once in a while. And one night we ended up getting up with Grap, and me, Grap, and Coop are in a parking garage right before we're gonna go into Jurassic 5 show at the Fillmore in Silver Springs. And man, Grap plugs his phone in and he's just playing all these unreleased Pete Rock beats.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, we're not talking about no fucking, you know, slide to the side, fucking. We're talking that real. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. And me and Coop were just in the car and Grap's just going through his phone, and I'm just like, now this is some shit. You know what I mean? And then to get out of the car and go to the J5 show, because I know Cut Chemist from like from the Egon and Count days, and Newmark. Newmark actually licensed some music from some Prophetics music actually a number of years ago as well.
Yeah.
So I know a couple of those guys, and I was the one that brought me and Cooper, the one that brought Grap Lova to the J5 show. So we walk into the dressing room after the show, and here's Grap Lova, and these motherfuckers are bugging out like, "Oh shit, that's Grap Lova." You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, I sometimes still, man, my like 12-year-old self just explodes inside.
No, it's
you know what I mean?
And there's so many,
like when
so
Large Pro walked through
like
that door right there. You know what I mean? Like when Large Pro came over.
Yeah.
Large Pro came over to the crib and it had been raining outside, and I asked them to take their shoes off.
Yeah.
Large Pro looked at me like I was fucking crazy, like Doe, like you gotta have some house shoes, man. He's like, I be telling Q-Tip that all the time. You gotta have house shoes for folks to. But I'm like, what in the hell is going on right now? You know what I mean? It's ill.
So many stories like that, man.
Big up Raw Wattage. Big up P. Watch for bringing
no doubt.
I will forever be indebted to that brother.
Yeah.
For, you know, making that shit happen. So big up
P.
Watch.
That's another connection right there. Raw Wattage, the architect, like these is straight up homies right now. You know what I'm saying? We look out for them, they look out for us. Architect was just in town a couple of months ago.
Yeah, big up Architect.
On the Souls of Mischief tour. Made sure we got up in that joint, got backstage, chopped it up for a minute. Everybody had a great time, man. It's just like connections like that, the relationships we made like that.
Man.
You know, you can't beat it.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Architect. You know, I was graced to actually interview him and Cochise recently.
All right. That's what's up.
So. Now, speaking of other people, I was joking in the comments a few episodes before, mentioning other vinyl. Got to bring up.
Oh shit! Yo,
last joint.
Damn.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Jack Jones, man. That's the homie. ATL General right there, doing this thing.
AKA
man,
Odyssey,
Mass Influence,
Right.
no doubt.
Yeah,
Definitely. Soundside, all of that. Man, that was just that was like a full circle moment, because you talk about a time when, you know, Atlanta Underground, you know, kind of centered around or circled around, or however you want to put it, around Mass Influence. And not really having that great of a relationship with them brothers at the time, you know, for obvious reasons, you know. But then, you know, circle it back, you know, 20 years later, and, you know, Odyssey, you know, us chopping it up and getting back in touch with each other, and, you know, seeing each other and stuff like that, turned into some music that turned into a couple of releases. You know, it's just that simple, man. You know, just that simple. And some dope music too.
Yeah.
You got some shit over there, Ian. What else you gonna pull up?
I did a little bit about Ian.
I did a little bit of
This is what I was just talking to Coop earlier. Yo, I don't think people understand, man. This brother right here, he reps hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? You rep, Ian. I mean, I love that, man. I love people that are just genuine fans. You know what I mean? Like, you are a fan. CJ is a fan.
Yeah.
We're fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the folks in this chat right now, like, you know, on this you know, in YouTube, like, they're fans. They're fans, and I just love that, man. You can tell, man. You can just tell when, like, someone is, like, has their heart in the right place, and, like, they love this, you know, culture and music, you know, until their last dying breath. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Right. Yeah. I mean, speaking of Mass Influence, I think it had to be the late 90s, maybe 98 or 99. Is that around time Underground Science came out?
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was around the time I got put onto them. You know, I picked up I think it was their third 12-inch. I picked it up at Fat Beats over in New York. Okay. Yep. So I've been knowing about them for a minute now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a great time in Atlanta, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know prior to the precursor to that was Y'all So Stupid.
Right.
So H, you know what I mean? So H and
H comes from that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I gotta ask Meeks, is this still in rotation in your car? Elzai and JR Swifts?
Yo, I have switched cars, but unfortunately I had to switch cars. But thank you for reminding me. I need to upload that on into my jukebox in my car. But that was, man, you talk about another young cat doing it the right way. And we ain't chopped it up with him in a minute. I need to check in on that brother. But JR Swifts is one of them dudes, man. And you know, we done bumped into Elzai a couple of times. Real cool dude. We fuck with Elzai heavy. But thanks for the reminder. I need to load that up. That thing was serious, man. For real. That was a serious piece of work.
That was a great interview. That was a great. We had JR. When we had JR and Elzai on at the same time, actually. Big up JR for making that happen. That was
no doubt. Man. Yeah, that was a serious piece of work right there, for real. Yep.
And what do you think about the latest JR Swifts album with Bad Seed?
Oh,
I hadn't really gotten up on that. Have we run anything off of that?
Yeah, we ran 3 or 4 joints off that album. Yeah. I mean, it's you know, I think Seed and JR, you know, are a perfect
match,
perfect fit together, man. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, you know, and that's the other excuse me. That's the other thing that, like, people don't understand, but sometimes they don't think about. And they just don't have the. You can't expect them to, but like Seed has VA ties, and so does Swift, and they both have. They're both from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like when folks like that get together, man, like it's just.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's
gonna be a good thing regardless. Yeah.
And the thing is too with Seed is if there's anybody that can pick some beats, it's that brother right there. That brother can pick some beats.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could only like put Bad Seed's ears on other MCs' heads, like we would all be in a much better place.
Say that shit, homie.
Seed knows how to pick beats, man.
That's what's up.
Now, John, a lot of people have been contacting you for cuts. I mean, your cuts on a lot of different projects nowadays. Yeah. What was that spark that just people started gravitating to asking you for cuts?
Oh, excuse me. I think what probably sparked it was the work I did on Jay Cyanide's debut album, The Actual Heat. Big up Jay Cyanide. That's my dog right there.
Had that over here too.
Yeah. So I mean, we've known Meeks and I have known Jay Cyanide for 20 years. I mean, I've known Jay longer than I've known my kids have been alive. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that. We go way back with that brother.
Yeah.
But I think it was the work on that. And then I actually I had a few other things like here and there. And then I think what really kind of pushed it into like getting a lot of ask was the joints that I did on the Kev Brown album, Homework. And then shortly after that, it was Jay and Kev's album, Drum Machine Tape Cassette. There it is right there.
That's that thing right there.
And then Straight from the Pack was, that was, I think that's really what kind of, what got it going. But,
gotta be prepared, yo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So, all bias aside, that's straight from the pack to me. Like, that's a classic. Like, I know people throw that word around loosely, but like, I truly think that like 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to go back and listen to that. And that's going to be a classic just because the way it was put together and the sequencing and all the things. But the great thing about doing cuts is it's an easy way for me to be out there and stay active and get a lot of different touches in, multiple places. You know what I mean? So, and I don't charge. I don't have any problem saying that. Like, I don't charge folks for cuts. I gotta like the music you do. I gotta like the joint you send me. And last but not least, and this is the really hard one, is I just got to make sure you just give me my credit.
Right.
Back to the MF Doom thing, right? But that's all I really ask for. But again, like I think it just goes back to the year. Like I'm a student of Marley and Premier and Pete and Dilla and Alchemist, and really DJs more. And I just think that like, and I'm not the craziest like, I got like my man D Styles and the Scratch Pickles and the Beat Junkies and all those guys. Like I'm not like that, but I know how to do something that's funky, that's in the pocket, it sounds good.
Exactly.
Fits the vibe of the record, and like that always goes a long way. So
no doubt.
I love doing that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. One of my tracks that's my favorite of your cuts is Champion of Haim Stoogie and J57's joint.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
featuring Lil Conscious, who just recently interviewed as well.
Yeah. It's it's funny, man, because I've done a lot of cuts, on Jay's projects over the years, and we've collaborated and whatnot. But that was one where, like, when I sent that back and Jay hit me, he was like, He's like, man, what are you doing here? Like, I've never heard you like this before. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I guess it just spoke to me. But
I was just about to say, like, the homie, since he jumped off into that lane, I just feel like his cuts have gotten grimier. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, but yeah, like he was just saying, for Jay to reach back out to him and be like, what is going on? What are you? I feel the same way about his cuts. Like, I heard him do some stuff, and I know about his cuts first and foremost. Like, I'm familiar, but it's just different now. You know,
Yeah.
it's just different.
yeah, you know what I think it is, man? I think that it's just like the show, right? Like, you know, Meeks and I are getting on a bike every Sunday for the past 8 years, and you know, whatever, like biking 20 miles and this hip hop shit. So I'm thinking that has to have something to do with it. You know what I mean? Just like having that regularity, DJing all the time, working out, you know, being in tune kind of with what's going on, and then just like it's just that repetitive kind of nature of just like you know, that it just causes an evolution. Like, you know, speaking of Pocket, like Pocket hit me last week and he's like, man, he's like the show's been on fire like the past couple of months, man. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I just think we're just getting more comfortable and it's getting better, and we got the book coming out, and like we just keep elevating. And
Yeah.
I think that not to just make this about us, but like I think that about all of our peers. Like you were asking about, like, you know, kind of who our group is, but like I think that about Superstition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, that guy right now. Wait till y'all see what Super's got coming. You know what I mean? Like my man Coop that did the illustration. Like, wait till we're working on a project that's getting ready to drop in, hopefully by the end of the year, early next year. That is gonna like make people's face melt. You know what I mean? Meeks gets better, Pocket gets better. Like all these guys, man. Like we all get better. We it's real. Like, you know, you age like fine wine. Like that. That's really a thing. And I don't think I don't think that's happened in hip hop yet. I think it's happening now, but like it's just like, you know, there's no reason that we have to put this shit down. You know what I mean? We can. The joke I make all the time is like, you know, I'm gonna have these turntables until, you know, I die. Like I can be somewhere when I'm 65, like playing records. You know what I mean? Like
no doubt.
So I think that just kind of plays into everything.
Boy,
right now. Just
that's some real shit.
That's how you gotta do it. Yeah. Now, when we gonna hear more Jon Doe production with Eddie Meeks rhyming? Some Dochino.
Hey, it exists. That's all I say about it. It exists. Yeah, I don't have no. You know, it's out there. We
got some things in the stash, man.
Because
when y'all be playing some teasers every once in a while, y'all be getting me hyped. I'm like,
it exists. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's, you know, the podcast is what it is, but we still, you know, it's still sharp and still over here with us, man. So, you know, that'll never stop. Actually,
Meeks got some shit in the fucking chamber with Pocket too. That is,
we bringing that to a close. You know, but everything in its own time. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, of course, by these days and these times and standards, it's just not, you know, mandatory for us to be, you know, pushing the issue to like get these releases out. Like we grown ass men with families, bro. Like it's not like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There'll never be a time where I'm in the lab with John and we knock out 23 joints over a series of months. Like that's behind us. That's behind us. But I mean, could we do it if the opportunity and everything fell into place right? Of course we could. Like, we still had a creative spirit. We still got that hip hop spirit, you know, on us, you know, heavy. But right now, you know, responsibilities, duties, obligations, you know, they take precedence. right now. But man, don't ever get it twisted. You talk about some Docino shit. We got it. We got it, bro. Don't even worry about it. I wouldn't lie to you. I don't. That's not my thing. But yeah, in due time, just y'all chill, just chill out. Pocket was giving me shit before we got on this call. Like, man, I'm over here reading a book. We need a new Prophetics album. I'm like, dude, you're doing too much now. Stop it. But it could go down. Go down. Happy birthday. Today is my man Mellow Melanin's birthday. Happy birthday to Mellow today, man. Yeah. Yeah, it could go down though.
Man. Now with the new book, Smithsonian Grade, you spoke about the foreword by Grap Lover. Artwork by Coop.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the design work as well. PQ.
Yeah. Big up
PQ did his thing, man. Real gracious about it too. Like as we were wrapping up the book recently, we noticed some things that could be tightened up and tweaked, and we were kind of concerned, if it could be turned around. And like I said, real gracious dude. I don't really know the cat like that, but I hope to meet him one day so I can shake his hand, because John was like, man, let me see what I can do. I don't know. I'm talking about turning it around like that, bro. So it's just it's some hardworking, like really good people that made this thing come to life. It wasn't just me and the homie. Shouts out to Brian Kaiser, PQ, Coop, of course, and then me and the homie. 2 years in the making, man, and here we are right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
What made you pick Brian Kaiser?
He picked us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he picked us. It wasn't, man, we ain't thought about writing no book, man. Let's be clear on that. Like,
yeah, I thought about that actually today. I kind of feel like I need to make a statement, or we need to make a statement on that, because, dog, trust me, neither me or Meeks woke up one day and said, we should write a book about ourselves. James?
Could you imagine that, John? Like, we should really...
People need to know our story.
People need to know what we do. Nah, that's not us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Meeks called me one day. He's like, man, this dude, he's like, this dude Brian Kaiser. He's like, man, he hit me. He wants to write a book about us, and I started laughing. I was like, write a book about what? And he's like, us, and I'm like, okay.
Just that simple. But nah, the real backstory to that is some years now. I don't know what, 5-6 years now, maybe closer to 7 now. Shouts out to Bob Lippich over at Chopped Herring.
Chopped Herring, yep.
Chopped Herring. Bob reached out to me. Oh man, this is crazy. Even think about this right now. So there was a bidding war that jumped off on YouTube. Somebody, I don't know how they got a hold of it, but somebody got a hold of a demo tape of my 5-man crew from the early 90s, the Insane Circle. Shouts out to Mello, Katie, JC, TD3, who was Tarico, and me, of course, and that was the 5-man crew, the Insane Circle. But somehow this demo shows up on YouTube one day, and it's getting hits and it's getting comments, and I don't know who brought it to my attention. I think one of the labels that was in there trying to figure out who was who and what was what somehow reached out to me via email or something and asked me, was I a part of this group? And it sent me a link to the video or whatever, the audio that was up on YouTube. And I was like, wait a minute, like what is going on? So I get in there, I see what's what, and I see the comments, and it's going crazy. I'm like, this shit's stupid as hell. Like, what is going on? And it turns out that Bob was one of the people trying to get a hold of the music, and I can't think of the other label right now. It escapes me, but it just boiled down to me being in kind of a situation at that time, and like who was gonna cut the check first. So that ended up being Bob, and the next thing you know, that vinyl comes out on Chopped Herring. It's crazy because I had to go through my vaults. I had to pull out DAT tapes. When the last time you heard about a DAT tape, Ian? And even further than that, I had to pull out the ADAT tapes.
Oh, damn.
John went and rented an ADAT machine, and we snatched.
So I happen to have a DAT machine that still worked.
Yeah.
And then I tracked down an ADAT machine somewhere, like at a
Dirt Cheap. Was it Dirt Cheap Music?
It was a place right down the street from Dirt Cheap.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Off Windy Hill Parkway, like like.
And you could rent, like old studio equipment like that. Okay. Yeah. So we had to pull some stuff off the ADATs and transfer all that, get it cleaned up, make the MP3s or whatever, and send it to Bob. And then the next thing you know, it's just like history repeating itself all over again. First of all, this music never came out. So I'm in this 5-man crew from the early 90s for like 7 to 8 years. And we only recorded X amount of songs in those 7 to 8 years. It's just like a crazy story, man. And then, of course, in typical hip hop fashion, egos take over and the group disbands. And I end up with all the artifacts and the remnants from that 7-year span. So I got all the ADAT tapes. I got the DAT tapes. I got the studio sheets from, how you line it up on the board and what's on what and all of that. Pictures, magazine articles, headshots.
And not to interject too much, and Meeks, I happened to find one of the few Insane Circle test presses at a record show in Atlanta.
Yep, with Mello's handwriting.
On it.
Yeah, a test press. So it's just crazy, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff that has happened on this journey that you just can't explain it. But yeah,
it's just God. That's all you can do. Like it's just we
give it up.
Divine, what I mean?
We give it up. It's definitely divine order, man. But long story short, that music comes out. The vinyl comes out first. It sells out. Charts in Japan. All types of crazy shit. Bob spins the block and comes back. He's like, man, that was like 3 or 4 joints that didn't make the vinyl. He's like, what you think about the CD deal? I was like, set it up. Next thing you know, the CD comes out. And then Bob, he has a genius idea to start doing like coffee table books. And who's the writer of the Chopped Herring books? Brian Kaiser. And wow. I did the interview and told the story of the Insane Circle to Brian. That came out in print. And the next thing you know, because Brian has his own catalog, and it's listed in, one of the last pages in the book, everything that he's released as 730 Publishing. So shouts out to Brian and 730 Publishing. The Pumpkinhead book, Cormega, Wordsworth, different publications like that. Yep. And next thing you know, he reaches out to me. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Exactly. PH. Yeah, for real. And I was like, you want to do what? He was like, yeah, man, I think it'd be a great idea. Your guys' podcast is great. you know, I love it. It's fuel for my day to day. I think it'd be a great idea. I like, well, what would we have to do? You know, he's like, well, we could do it on a series of Zoom sessions and, you know, just map it out and, you know, thinking about the different chapters we can do and stuff like that. I like, man, let me talk to the homie and see if he might be interested in something like that. I thought it was a joke too. I mean, the stuff with chopped hair, and that's, you know, that's totally different. That ain't really got nothing to do with us, even though we were a part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's their, you know, idea and, you know, their path. But when he came to me, I was skeptical. And then the homie just laughed it off. He was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, for real. Like, this dude, he want to do what? I like, hey, man, I already asked these questions. I'm like, do you want to do it or not? And he's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. See what happens. So, you know, here we are, man. Again, he chose us. You know, we did not have the idea to, you know, we need to do a book. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, let's make that clear. Let's make that clear.
Yes, we were selected for this particular blessing. So
we think highly of ourselves, but we don't think that highly of ourselves.
Nah, it ain't.
Book needs to be written about it.
Nah, you have to smoke highly to think that highly of yourself. We're not doing that. So yeah, big ups to Brian at 730 Publishing, man. If y'all get a chance, go out and look for his other, you know, published works. I think he's got 14, 15 books available right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know about his history. Like, if you guys remember the kind of one of the first bigger hip hop websites back in the day, Hip Hop Game. Like, Brian wrote a lot for Hip Hop Game. So he's been in the field and has some crazy stories and you know, the scars and wounds to back it up. You know, being kind of in that kind of big .com, you know, era of, you know, websites kind of going bonkers. So he's in addition to, you know, the books that he's written, you know, he's got a long storied history in hip hop journalism.
No doubt. As a matter of fact, check us out in UGS Mag, ugsmag.com, magazine. Yeah, 005. Yeah. Brian did that. And you know what? Funny, homie, I mentioned that. You know, Peter Augustine wrote. And
I know, I saw that.
Yeah,
that's still right.
That's another, you know, another good dude we know throughout this journey. So yeah, everything is just, I don't know, we just on a full circle mission right now. You know. But yeah, one more time, we were chosen to be written about. We did not go and pick an author to write this book about us. It did not go down like that.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record.
I tell you what the best is, though. The best is when I went home a couple months ago and I told my mom that someone was writing a book about a book about me and Meeks. My mom looked at me like I had.
What's wrong with my child?
Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, stop.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's been a trip, man.
That's a trip for sure.
Man, I like what you did. I'm up to page 25 in the book right now. I wanted to hold off, but I said, you know what, let me start reading a little bit of it. And it's at the point where you're talking. For those that haven't read, the beginning starts with speaking of the group Prophetics. So I'm at the point now where you're talking about the True Grit. And,
True Urban Grit.
And then the video, Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which I went and watched because I've seen it before, but I went and watched it again, seeing the young Meeks on there.
Oh, man. That's what's up. Hold on, I'm still young. Pretty. I'm in the best shape of my life. I hit hard. Don't play with me, man. Somebody young Meeks. Nah, that video, we spoke about the shooting of that video in there, which was, you know, incredible in itself. And shouts out to Matthew Hutchison that directed that for us. I don't know, man. When I look back on everything and just thinking about how people have not only accepted us, but maybe if you could step into their shoes for a minute on the outside looking in type shit. I feel like the stuff that we've done and that we've accomplished, unconsciously has been about just elevating what we're doing and trying to set ourselves apart from the mainstream and the crowd and stuff like that. And this is just another version of that. When you talk about, that particular video, not only doing it here, but having a video release party for it, and then eventually getting that video on BET, and it's just like, just stuff that you dream about as a kid, while you having these rap fantasies and whatnot as a youth, and then actually making some of this stuff happen, man. It's just been incredible, man. It's just been incredible.
Man.
There's some more treats in that book, Ian. I think.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get to it. Yeah.
I think you're gonna enjoy it. There's some we had fun with it, which is what we try to do with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And we also took it serious too, because who knows when you get an opportunity like this again. So I know one of the big things, one of the big sticking points for me was trying my best to make sure it was a good read. Early on it was a little jagged, you know what I'm saying? But as we progressed and got through it, we tightened it up and got it right and exact. And what you have in front of you is a finished product. I think it's a great read. I think it's a great documentation of who we are and what we've been through and the things that we've done and our plans going forward and how we're gonna continue on this path. So we just hope everybody enjoys it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a very Meeks and I's, for better or worse, our mantra over the past 8 years, probably since we started the show, was to lower your expectations.
Big time.
Which sounds which doesn't sound very positive or affirming, but there, especially with this music shit, and not even just music, but just even being a creative or an arts minded person is
taxing.
It's exhausting. I was just talking with Coop about it today. And I think the first time I ever wrapped my head around that and understood what that meant was when I heard, I was lucky. I've been lucky enough to be a fly on the wall in many, count-based D pontifications and, count, if you get him in the right place, that brother right there will hold court. And I'll never forget him talking about how the burden that comes with being a creative person. And how it can be a gift and a curse. And damn, where was I going with this? I just lost my shit. I was thinking about Count holding court 20 years ago.
But just how exhausting it is, and keeping the expectations low.
Oh yeah, sorry, thank you, Meeks. So keeping expectations low, but the thing is with this book is that and I told Meeks this, and I told some other folks this that knew we were working on this. I was like, look, I really don't care if one person buys this book. And that's not to be disrespectful to all the people that have bought it, because we greatly appreciate all the people that supported the book. It surpassed my expectations already.
Bro.
I'm so surprised. I'm almost speechless. I just keep seeing the notifications go off in Bandcamp and keep seeing the Amazon orders and all the shit. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just happy that parts of this journey have been documented, And when I'm not here anymore, my kids are going to have that.
Right.
And, we cannot sell another book from here on out. And, it was, for us, just being able to accomplish that with Meeks and my homie Coop and, all the people that contributed, quotes to it. I mean, dog, if you had told me 15 years ago that DJ Rhapmatic and D Styles at the Beat Junkies would give a quote and testimonial for the book on the back of this thing, man, are you, dude?
Yes.
I hit I've been hitting everybody up, like trying to get their addresses to send the packages that contributed to the book. And I hit D yesterday. I was like, yo, D, I was like, I need your address, man. He's like, yeah, here's my address. He's like, don't send it unless you autograph, unless both of you, sign it. And I'm just that
blew your mind, right? Just to hear that
blows my mind,
man.
dude. You know what I mean? Like
crazy, man.
Yeah. So, it's I think we're really thankful and humbled that, we were able to do something like this. A lot of folks don't get this chance. You know what I mean? So we're thankful.
Very much so. Very much so.
And also let the people know the exclusives that they will get if they order it on Bandcamp.
Oh, man. Do the commercial, homie.
Gotcha. So first off, you're going to get a dope, slick, all black everything package here. You're going to get a Southern Vanguard sticker on the back of it. And then when you open that joint up, I'm going to let a little secret out here. I don't even know if Meeks knows this. So you're going to get the print. Whoops, this way.
Yep.
Oh, that glare is terrible. Hold on. Let me show one that doesn't have the glare in it. There we go. All right. So you'll see here, I signed it, Meek signed it, and more importantly, my homie Coop signed it. So you're going to get a nice print that's been signed by all three of us. It's going to come in a nice, Mylar, whatever you want to call it. So comic book collectors out there, y'all know what this is. And then it's going to come with a dope sticker. And then you're going to get the book.
Of course.
Right. And then what you don't know is the first 50 orders are actually going to get a Southern Vanguard radio magnet. So
nice.
That's going to be like a little bootleg or a little bookmark exclusive, I should say.
No doubt.
That's in the package. So, and that said, like, obviously you can order on Amazon, right? Like, Ian, thank you. You copped it on Amazon. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of our, like, if you live outside the U.S., Amazon's really your best bet. Like, I talked to Franchise from the Dookie Brothers today. He copped the book on Amazon. My homie Static from We Fuck Radio copped it. I think we had some folks from the UK that copped it as well. So, international shipping. I don't know if you guys know much about it right now, but
it's crazy.
It is so expensive to ship anything of any weight. So I'm thankful that, like, I think the folks in the UK and Canada were basically still getting the book for $10, like you can in the US, on Amazon.
Yep.
Long story short, operators are standing by now. Call, because the it's been jumping, man. So we talking about the first 50 orders. We coming up on 50 pretty quickly.
So we sold 30 books in 3 days.
That is.
So
there you go.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and that's just on Bandcamp. So
right, that doesn't count Amazon or anything like that. So hey, like I said,
that's what it is. We thankful, and we really hope everybody that has ordered it, when they get it, they thoroughly enjoy it. If we bump into you down the line somewhere, we'll sign the shit out of your book. Don't even worry about it. So that's what it is.
There you go. And for those tuning in, I put the link in the comments, and as you can see on the screen right now, that's the link to the Southern Vanguard Radio's Bandcamp to go and order Smithsonian grade The Story of Southern Vanguard Radio book with the exclusives that Jon Doe just showed us.
Exactly.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Now they say laughter helps, keep us young. Also longevity.
Mm-hmm.
The two of y'all together always have me cracking up on Sunday nights. Have y'all always been like this together?
Man, I don't know, man. In terms of just trying to, enjoy moments and having a good time, yeah. We we don't shy away from having a good time. It's definitely different now, at this stage of life that we're in right now. But yeah, for the most part, we've been in some situations, we've been in some places where it was just kind of hard not to just bug out. You know what I mean? So yeah, but the homie likes to put it all on me. But yo, he's an idiot, like in his own right. Like when he really get on that country shit, I can't contain myself, man. Like that shit is hilarious to me, and it's just like we just feed off one another, man. So but it's all about having fun, man. And just like I was talking about, we wanted the book to be a good read. We try to put forth a really good effort to be entertaining, on the show as well, because it's like it's people coming into the Twitch to watch and whatnot, but also just the playback it'll have you laughing too. Like you ain't even got to see us, like just to hear us saying some of that dumb shit and just talking crazy and just bugging out and just cracking jokes and just the more bourbon we drink, probably the funnier that shit is. Like it just all goes together, man. So yeah, we just like to have a good time, and if people are so inclined to tap in with us, we want them to have a good time too, man. That's one of the 4 elements of this culture, man. Having fun,
Yep.
So that's what we do.
That's dope.
Yep.
I wasn't able to find it just yet. Larger Than Life, 12-inch.
Okay.
And I got a few other prophetic 12 inches I found in the recent years. So
okay.
Expect me to do a little mix coming up recently when I finish with what I've been doing around here.
Oh shit!
I got the itch again.
All right, that's what's up.
Ready, man.
That's what's up.
Let's do it.
Hey, yo, I got tons of that stuff in my garage, man. You ever need to re-up on something, just let me know. Put you a nice little
care package.
Yeah,
we send you a box. We send you a box of True Urban Grit 12 inches. No problem. We'll pay for the shipping.
Yeah, we'll service you. I send you a box of 100 Large in a Life CDs, never been open. Just let me know, man. Whatever you want, man. We got you.
We're all praying for the day that, like, something becomes rare on Discogs. That way we can sell all this shit we got.
Man,
that ain't happening.
I don't say that, homie.
You never know. Man.
Remember Top Herring.
Too many of them, though.
Don't forget about Top Herring.
There's 1,000 True Urban Grit. No, 2,000 True Urban Grit 12 inches out there, man. That's enough to go around for everybody, probably.
Man.
Great, man.
Yeah, man.
So, family's good. Got the book out. Radio's doing great. I love when y'all keep up with Soundcheck with Rhapmatic and D Styles.
Yeah,
man.
Always good times.
What an honor.
Yeah.
Salute those brothers right there, man. Like, that's just been incredible.
Yeah, we got another one coming up soon, so y'all get ready for that.
There you go. Is there anything else you got on your mind you want to talk about? It don't matter what it is. It ain't got to be about music. It just be about life.
Nah, man. I just think right now, for what it's worth, man, we just well, first and foremost, thank you for having us, Ian. We really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Definitely.
You've been a good brother to us over the years, bro. Like we really appreciate it, and we wish you well with your endeavors. Everything that's going on with HHDG Media, man. We just wish you the best.
Thank
Um, I was just fortunate enough to be on the Rhyme Animals podcast with Flux and AOS, and they just did their 100th episode, man, and I just wanted to be there. I didn't I didn't want to talk, but of course they put me on the mic and we talked about some stuff, but I just wanted to be there because me and the homie been there before, and we did the episode 100 gift packs and stuff like that, and I know it's yep.
Oh, look at that!
Right there. It's a milestone. You know what I'm saying? So I felt the need to go over there and just for what it's worth, coming from somebody like me, just encourage them and let them know that if they continue to do it, good things will come to them, man. So they sitting in another stratosphere right now because it's 50-50 with this podcast stuff, and a lot of podcasts don't even see 10 episodes. So for somebody to say they got 100 episodes or 374 episodes under their belt, what you want? You keep counting yours in. What you want?
No, I haven't keeping count.
You just doing them.
I just want to keep going. Yeah, I don't even want to put a number on it.
No doubt. I feel you on that. So it's just like, when you're in that stratosphere, man, we got to encourage each other, because it's something important that we're doing, so, people need it. People look forward to it. It's a getaway from the mundane, so to speak. So, yeah, man, we provide a service. And I think that's one of the main points of the book for me that I wanted to get across is that we, coming up in this culture, you can just take all the time and never really give back, so to speak. But I think we're definitely in a lane right now, John and I, we're in a lane right now where we're providing a service and we're giving back to the culture that we, grew up in and love. And I think that's very important for both of us. So we're just going to keep pushing. We're going to keep grinding, man. Please go to southernvanguard.bandcamp.com and purchase that book if you're so inclined. We got music up there, too, if you want to fuck with that. Like the homie was saying, you overseas or you up in Canada or something like that, your best bet is, to deal with Amazon. We ain't trying to break nobody's pockets. And if you can get a better deal from Amazon to get the book, and if you don't really, mind missing out on, the stickers and stuff like that, the prints and stuff like that, the book is the most important thing. So yeah, please do.
Sure.
And again, Ian, thank you, man, for giving us this time and this platform, your platform, to talk about what we got going on. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And everything with hip hop, I always say, no matter what your talent is, always link up with the right people. And when it happens organically, it just expands to so much more. So
true.
No matter what your talents are, they're gonna progress somewhere else or with someone else.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like use your talents, right? Like again, like it doesn't matter what age you are, where you think you're at, or where someone else thinks you at. Like that's one of the most important things I think I probably got out of an interview we did with Bishop Lamont. Was just the concept to just like keep doing and just do the work. No expectations, just do the work. Like if it feels good and it feels right and it feels like you should be doing it, like you should be doing it. So just don't stop. There are a lot of benefits that come out of everything that the three of us or people in this chat or from just contributing and expressing yourself. You know what I mean? That's really important. Like I don't. It's again, it kind of goes back to that. It's kind of a curse to be a creative or want to express yourself. It's really important that people, lean into that. I kind of hate that term, but it's really important that people lean into that and don't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the last thing I just want to say. Just do the things that you love. You know what I mean? Like that's it's important. Don't get wrapped up in the mundane. To use what kind of to add on to what Meeks was saying.
No doubt.
Definitely. And I also have to shout out everyone that's been tuning in and in the comments sections. We got NJ the AK.
NJ, what up?
Supporting.
Look at that. He just copied another. Hold on.
I see franchise up in there from Dookie Bros.
Franchise, what up?
Big franchise. Look at that.
NJ's supposed to be setting up that Alaska book sign, and we waiting on some details on that.
Yeah.
Franchise, we appreciate you, bro. Coop, we see you.
Coop, as always, from the beginning.
Tucson and Lamont have been in here.
They in there. That's what's
White Said.
All the homies is in there, man.
Yeah.
Dog, I tell you what I love too about this show. Not to just keep on just running my yap. But dog, you know what I love the most about this show right now too? Is that just like, and again, we never strive to be like anyone, but you know how Stretch and Bob and all the good radio shows always had like, their characters. Howard Stern had them, like even if they weren't like primary parts of the show, there were like these other personalities that existed. Yeah. And I feel like we have that. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Yeah. I just love that. We have like a small community that we kind of built up, man. And I love it that, everybody just kind of feeds off on that and everybody talks shit in the chat. And you know what I mean? I just love it. Like even with you, Ian, like when we don't know what we're talking about an artist, we're like, all right, Ian's going to chime in here in a second and tell us what the fuck's up with, Money Mogley and Tev 95 or whoever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? So I love that about specifically about Twitch on Sunday nights, man. Like that's such a good time. I don't think Meeks and I expected to like, that kind of that platform and being able to interact with folks like that.
Yeah, that interaction is
it's been a lot of fun. And now that I think about it, I think that's probably what's elevated the show probably over the past year or so.
I would agree.
Having that real time interaction. Yeah. So we appreciate everybody that tunes in on Sunday nights, man. It's a real blast.
Definitely.
Now, before we go, is there any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man, once again, just shout out to the world, man. Shout outs to Brian Kaiser for, again, thinking enough of us to, document our history and our story. Thank you to everybody that's purchased, up until this point, whether it's directly from us or on Amazon. And I don't know, man, more to come, more episodes to come. Just keep your eye out on your board, man. And as always, you welcome. Welcome.
No doubt. I just want to say, thank you to everybody that helped contribute to the book. So me, Brian Kaiser, Coop, PQ, Rhett Maddock, D Styles, Grap Lover, homie Dr. Butcher, what up Butcher, Count Bass, Superstition, and certainly last but not least, and I thank them in the book as well, but I know my family puts up with a bunch of bullshit and all my crazy music shenanigans. You know what I mean? So I know it's hard sometimes dealing with your dad and this rap shit, but it keeps the old man sane. So
no doubt.
You know what I mean? So I love y'all. Thank y'all for putting up with my shit.
That's what's up.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Ian,
Yeah.
thank you, dog. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Seriously, thank
Ian,
you.
this was
I-
dope.
Oh, man. You
Man, we
know,
really
I was
appreciate
hyped.
it.
No, I was looking forward to this.
Oh yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
Doubt.
man. Thank you so much, Ian.
As always, you know, always
Yeah.
welcome to come back.
No doubt. We'll see you Sunday.
No doubt. All right.
And on behalf of our HHDG media crew, we're gonna say peace.
Peace, y'all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.